She Said What is a break from the usual format of the She Lives Intentionally podcast. It's where two other women from the She Lives Intentionally community join me as we unpack an aha moment, we drop a hot take, and we react to a total WTF. So let's get into it.
You know me, girl. I'll fake it till I make it.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm definitely a little nervous, but I always have an opinion. So
if you want to say it like you'd say it, then say it.
Okay.
Can we swear?
All kinds of stuff. You can swear. Damn it, George, swear. You can say whatever you want. Sometimes that takes us on a different topic. Who knows? On a recent episode of Rethinking with Adam Grant, the Pinterest CEO, Bill Reddy, shared why the company re-engineered its platform to focus less on outrage and addiction and more on showing people what actually inspires them. Instead of only seeing body types you'll never relate to, Pinterest helps you try on fashion with models who look like you. They even took a financial hit to stick with this vision. And now they're seeing users actually return for the same reason. I am one of them, because they loved social media in the first place, which was all around inspiration instead of doom scrolling. So I'm going to start with a fairly easy, fluffy question, and then we can kind of get into this. This was a fantastic podcast, by the way. You each need to listen to it if you haven't already. If the algorithm reflected what you actually wanted, not what keeps you addicted, what would it focus on? And would you feel differently about social media?
So I think for me, one of the issues that I have with algorithms across any of these social media platforms is they're showing me almost too much of what I want to see and not enough of what might be new or interesting or, you know, something that I want to discover. I find that especially frustrating on Spotify with music, that, you know, I will go to a new artist that I'm just hearing about, and I go to the artist radio because I want to explore more of that type of sound. And half the songs in the radio are songs that I've already saved in other playlists because the algorithm, it thinks that's what I want to hear. And, you know, I realize, especially on a lot of the platforms like Pinterest that are monetized, you know, they're getting advertiser money. They have to find that balance of what is she going to be most likely to buy, and that's where they want that algorithm to go to the things that you're most likely to click on, that they're going to be able to monetize in some way. But what I would love to see is, you know, what would inspire me is just like, I want my curiosity to be sparked. I want to discover new things, and so I would like them to maybe be a little bit more, I don't know the word, adventurous, or a little bit more risk-taking in throwing things in front of me that will open up new things. So that's what I would love to see.
Natalie, 100%. That whole Spotify situation that you just said, exactly the same. It's almost as if the Spotify album is limited to the I would say the 60 songs, right, that just show up over and over, regardless of what I search for. And when I'm looking for something new, they don't pick up my thread. They don't show me interesting things. And I would love to see that. And I think some of the social media sites just over-index. You know, once they've got you, you know, I like politics. And so they've pegged me as a certain sort of political bent, and they over-index on it. It's like, I don't want to be a radical. I'm the large middle. So can you please just show me two different voices so that I can form that good opinion? I would really love to see that sort of information. And to your point, show me something new. I am so tired of the same things over and over again. Maybe people don't like to change, and that's why they keep serving up the same stuff, but that's not me. I would love pique my interest. Teach me something new. Show me something I haven't seen before. I'm all in.
Right. I mean, I would even be to the place at this point where I'm like, can you just show me somebody's picture of their kid that's graduating this year? I don't even see stuff of my friends anymore. I'm like, where are all the things we used to complain about? And now I would love I want to see a picture of your dog. Like, I don't actually want to see some of this other garbage. I don't spend enough time on it then to know that it's not serving me up what I do or don't want. Mm-hmm. But I feel At this point, I probably spend the most time on Instagram. And I've even carved that back a few weeks ago because that's what was happening to me. It was the algorithm clearly knows what I want to see. And now I'm seeing too much of it to the point where I was like, I got to retrain it. And I almost have it to that point. I had to unfollow a lot of people, but it has now figured me out to be someone who wants to watch women's sports. I clearly need to buy some compression socks, and it shows me cats. And I'm okay with that now.
I love that. But you make a really good point about when you were talking about like the people you follow. I mean, I find that's my biggest complaint with Pinterest is I have all these people I follow for a reason. I love the stuff that they're saving to their boards, and I never see any of the people I follow in my Pinterest homepage or when I'm scrolling, or they're not the first ones to pop up if I do a search. And Instagram is getting that way too. You know, it's like every fifth post is maybe someone I follow. But yeah, it's like so many advertisements in there. And then, you know, I would also like to see more of the, you know, Facebook did actually, there's a little tab. I just noticed it recently. I'm probably way behind the times, but they, in the app on the phone, there's a little tab at the bottom where you can just see the people you're following in your feed. So it's like a separate feed now.
But did you notice in that feed? So I don't use the app anymore because it was too much, right? And so I actually have to physically go into the online version. And so I sort by feeds, and then it's friends feeds. And I might see 5 or 6 things, and then it literally loads. Like, oh, we'll try to find some friends of yours. And so I go, is nobody posting on Facebook anymore? I certainly know that my personal posting is way down. I'm not getting it. Social media isn't serving me anymore. And that's, I don't even know what that has to do with, you know, your question, but I don't see, like you said, I don't see whose kids graduated. I don't see those first day kindergarten classes. So-and-so got married occasionally, and that's why I'm there. So I just feel like they're losing me because I'm not getting what I needed from it. So
well, you just said that it's not serving me. It's actually interesting because I had this instance where somebody who I hadn't seen since college, and because we as a family had traveled to Philadelphia to go visit my husband's family, and suddenly this friend I hadn't seen since college had posted that he was eating dinner at some restaurant. That I was like, oh my God, James, are you here now? And then like we're messaging each other back and forth. And so we ended up seeing each other in Philadelphia because of Facebook, and then COVID happened and crazy politics stuff started happening. And I need to just get off of it. But at the time I was publishing a book. And so I had my book publisher's like, you just need to start posting stuff. And I'm like, I don't post now. What would I post about? Oh, your life. Anyway, a year ago, when starting She Lives Intentionally, somebody was like, it's all about you. And I'm like, but it's not all about me. I think I need to just have an account for She Lives Intentionally, in which now I've kind of turned into my own personal posts too. But I got rid of my Marney Andy's account. I got rid of Facebook, which Facebook doesn't like it when you get rid of your personal account.
No, they
get really pissed off at you. They want you to come back. So I battle that now on the daily. But it's so interesting that you just said it doesn't serve me. That's what's happening. And I hadn't quite put my finger on it, which is why it serves me now with this, because I send content out, right? But I don't even sit on that stuff. I mean, that's a lot of the stuff I'm doing. I'm scheduling it.
Yeah.
You're not even taking the stuff in. It really is an interesting podcast because, to Pinterest credit, part of what they're willing to, he says, willing to give up is all these people being on it, as long as it becomes that place of Pinterest gets me. I'm paraphrasing, but they know I'm looking for ball caps in every shape and size all the time because I love to wear ball caps. So like, it serves you what you want versus it's not serving me up 5-inch stilettos because I will never wear heels again. So you know what I mean? Like, he's like, we see you, we want you to have that content, and they're trying to be more mindful about kids, which this is part of. I would love your take on this, which is maybe not so much about the younger generation and whether or not they're spending too much. I don't even want to argue whether they aren't spending too much time, but I do wonder about like if social media isn't serving both of you, because in your own ways, you said that, I said it too, it's not giving you what you want. So what are you doing instead of social media? Do you talk about it with your friends or family of like what you do instead of being on social media?
I still spend plenty of time on social media. So even if I'm complaining about it, you know, we all love to complain about the things that we spend way too much time on. But I have had it's a new to me social media discovery, which is an app called Marco Polo, where you can record yourself. It's a little like Snapchat. You're just recording little snippets of, you know, yourself talking into the camera, and it's like having a recorded text message thread with a friend. And I am finding that is rekindling a lot of my friendships where, you know, it's like with social media, you reconnected with all of these people and you were chatting and you were engaging with them a lot on the apps. And now we've all pulled back from engaging a lot on these apps because of the algorithms, and we're just super careful about that. No one answers their phone anymore. We're all pulling away from this so much. But I'm finding that it's very easy to just go and record something for 5 minutes or 10 minutes that's on my mind or something that happened to me. And it's become more of a habit with some of, especially my close friends that don't live in the same city as me. So that has been really, really fun. And, you know, I just recently got back from a vacation and had lots of experiences that were really special to me. And I was sharing that with one of my best friends over Marco Polo. And then I was able to download and save all of these recordings. So now I almost have this little journal of those experiences that I was sharing with my friend too. So anyway, that's been kind of my recent pivot that has brought me a lot of fulfillment from a friendship and a relationship and a connection standpoint that I think I used to get a lot from social media and don't. You know, I use it now to like decorate my house and look for party outfits. So
You go to parties? Wow.
Becca's like, wait, what?
What's a party?
It'll be the first one in a while. I've got one coming up, so that's been fresh on my mind. But yeah, it has been a little while.
Yeah, my social media my usage is terrible now. If I'm on anything, I love Reddit. I'm embarrassed to say how much I love Reddit.
I use Reddit all the time too.
I can get super granular in the topics that I want. Like if I'm feeling some kind of way about something, I don't care if it's like velvet hippos, you know, which are the pit bulls, the gray pit bulls, right? Mm-hmm. I get it. And the commenters are so clever. I just like milk comes through my nose laughing so hard at some of the things that people put on there. And so that's something that I can do that I'm like, I don't feel, yes, I'm wasting my life. Of course I am, but not as much as I was doom scrolling on Facebook, for example, going absolutely nowhere. What am I doing with my life? I have moved away and I'm trying to read books.
Right.
Paper books.
Do they have a lot of pictures? Just kidding.
No, because my current genre is romantasies.
Oh, well, they need to have pictures. That would be, I don't know if that would be good or not.
Just listen to it on audio.
People do that. I'm like, no, all the encouragement I need is going on in my brain. Thank you. Marney, why are you blushing? You're so blushing. It's my thing in the moment, right? And then in another 2 months or something, I'll go like, nah, I'm all done with those. I can't, stand any more milquetoast sex scenes. So I'll just move on to something else. And like, I like, whatever's on the top lists and history books. And
well, both of you just mentioned things. I have used Marco Polo before. Actually, one of the other members years ago, she sent me this thing, and pretty soon I'm not kidding you, I think it was like 6 months later, and I was like, what the hell is this Marco Polo? She's like, you haven't been looking at any of them? I'm not kidding. Because I was like, I don't know what it is.
Sending them.
Although I will say, I get that. Yes. What a great way to say, like, it could be a journal. I never even thought about it like that. And Reddit, I just, maybe it's just not so much of that social media is bad. It's just what stuff are you using and how you're using it. I
think from a business standpoint, the more that competition has entered, and Becca, you made me think too. Substack's another one that I've recently gotten super into. the more different platforms that have come up that aren't just owned by Meta, the more competition that comes into this, the better it's getting. And then we do have more options. But we've got to I think that we will start to see a move in a new direction because more and more platforms are coming into the game, and there will become kind of more of an equilibrium for, hey, we're now getting what we need. We are being served now by at least a handful of these sites, and some of the other original players are having to make adjustments to meet that competition and to still be relevant.
And I choose, Natalie, right? I recently got into Substack as well. Some friends of mine started posting and invited me to follow them or whatever it was. Oh, these are clever women and I really like the way they think about the world. And so do I get fed more of that sort of content? Yes, but also other things too. And I'm like, let's go. I'll try this. Natalie, I want to ask you about Marco Polo because I was like, oh, that's fascinating. And I'm not trying to be provocative here, but what happened to a phone conversation where I call my friend and we chat about, and I tell her about the vacation, and is that whole kind of one-way conversation, and then I wait until it's convenient for them to give a response? How do you think about that? Because that was the first thing that went through my head. It's like, didn't we used to call each other?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, and that was an adjustment for me in the beginning of using it as well. I do think what it is that when something's just on your mind, you just go out to Marco Polo and you just say it. Or you're running an errand, you have 5 minutes in the car and your friend doesn't pick up or your sister doesn't pick up or whoever it is you want to chat with, and you just can send it. And then it is just convenient because they watch it when it's convenient for them. They can reply when it's convenient for them. And then in the example of my vacation, I recorded like an 8-part series because a lot had happened on my vacation and I was trying to keep them under 10 minutes. But then my friend and I did get on the phone like a week later. She'd already watched all my Marco Polos and we were able to talk for an hour, and it was a much more meaningful conversation because she had all the backstory. So
I love that. Oh no, I really love that. And I was also thinking about how many times, because I'm probably the only one who does this, wake up at 2:00 in the morning and think about somebody. And I'm like, I should call them. Like, I'm going to call them at 2:00 in the morning, but I could, be like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. Remember that one time we did that one thing and it was so fun and you're important to me. Send. That's the kind of shit that doesn't happen the next day after I start the race, right?
Yeah. And seeing your face is also more meaningful than getting a text. So yeah, that even if it's a 2-minute thing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try it. Sold.
I am purposely going to take a very specific hot take on this. Nike and SKIMS have announced a collaboration. So the Nike and SKIMS collab just dropped, and the internet is actually split. Some call it the ultimate money grab, and others are praising it as the sleek future of active wear. And so I'm going to share this because, okay, my hot take is that if in fact SKIMS, I don't know much about them. Okay. I know what they do. This is my take on it. It's like a competitor with Spanx. It's like that kind of stuff, like undergarments, but then there's also other activewear. If they are in fact finally listening to women as to what we want and what's comfortable, if somebody could ever make a sports bra that is halfway decent, I am all for it. I don't care who owns SKIMS in particular. It doesn't matter to me. I just want somebody to fix the issue of the fact that I will literally try on any bra that doesn't have an underwire, but does somehow keep them away from me so that I don't get so annoyed. So
like, you at this shake point, your I'm like, arms all over.
So I actually now have started over the last probably 6 months wearing what I would call a more comfortable loose sports bra even to bed. I used to be like, it's all out there, but I've started to get annoyed with myself, and I'm sure it's because I'm older and my boobs are falling in places that they didn't fall before. Do either one of you have a hot take on Nike and SKIMS having a collaboration?
I do, but I don't know if it's the direction that you want to go, Marney. My hot take on this. So I think, what did they launch last week? I follow this company on Instagram called Remake. It's a nonprofit that looks at, it kind of looks at fashion and rates their, how well they're doing on sustainability and on human rights and pay equity for women and all of that kind of stuff. And SKIMS like is notorious. I mean, they have scored like a 0. They're like the bottom company on all of these reports, you know, so as long as they've been in business pretty much. And this company, they're called Remake, is the company that I follow. This report that they do annually, SKIMS is literally scores a 0 on it. And so I think my initial take is, you know, I saw them kind of post about the SKIMS Nike thing from that perspective, and it resonated with me a lot because Nike has made a lot of commitments in their, you know, in their mission and their strategy to have a focus on, you know, their supply chain and sustainability and all of these things that, you know, do matter to people and really to women. I mean, and if you think about women, not just the people who are the consumers of Nike, but it's women working in the factories in Asia that are producing the clothing and all of that. And so I think that was kind of what resonated with me. So that's really my take on it, is I think it really kind of goes against what Nike's mission has been. And it feels a little bit, they're selling out.
Agree 100%. Yeah. So, a couple things. So first of all, like, believe it or not, I took the page out of my 28-year-old daughter's book and said that I know who owns SKIMS. I know who runs it, right? Whose name is associated with it. And she's like, I'm not giving them a dime. I hear you. I don't want to buy a product from somebody because they're an influencer, right? No, not happening. So strike one. The next thing is that Nike is stalled in the market, right? So Nike stock is, I've been reading about Nike lately, just even before this came up, and they're floundering. So they're grabbing at straws. And so this is copping out. This is the cheap exit to try to get a generation of people who do like that brand because of who it's associated with, to try to be more contextually relevant to a certain audience, which is not me. So strike two, it's a cheap shot, I think. And then thirdly, in going in a little bit different direction. So we're not on video, but I'm a bigger girl, but I'm athletic, right? And so Marney, I share the bra thing. I have 100 sports bras trying to keep the D's down, but it's never going to happen. But I don't really think that, you know, the SKIMS partnership is going to address that either, because that's not really what they're in it for. They're not in it so that Becca can exercise more effectively. And then secondly, if I have to wear shapewear to go to my freaking kickboxing class, God help us all, right? Because that is the last thing that I mean, again, wrong audience. I'm not the audience for this hot take, quite frankly, because I don't give a shit what somebody thinks about what I look like at the gym. Somebody does. And that's who they're selling to. So that's an even hotter take.
Is that it? That's all you got, Hammer?
Strike three.
Like, put the period on it. Boom.
Boom.
Okay. So let me just share this with you. So this morning when I was out on my walk with my husband, I said Nike and SKIMS is one of the topics for today. She said, what? I go, I think I'm going to take the hot take that it would be really great if this all helps us have better activewear. And he's like, sure, said the person who was like, if it was doing the easy thing, the consumerism thing, then, because I've been sharing him, I'm like, it's sometimes hard to sell to women to like, hey, come into this space where we talk about good things for you, or we navigate really hard shit you got to talk about. It's not an easy sell, but you know what's an easy sell? Selling on women's insecurities. And so it hit me a few weeks ago, and I'd said this to one of the people that I work with, and then of course I shared it with my husband. I said, I follow the CEO of Spanx, and she always does a lot of great business stuff. You're like, oh, she's kicking ass. She's a woman-owned business. She started in her apartment, all these things. And then I was like, wait a second. Wait. She's made her money off of selling into the idea that you need to keep all that crap compressed in. I'll never forget when I heard about Spanx for the first time. I was like, what are these Spanx things? And I remember wearing a pair of them for the first time. I was in a cocktail dress, and Spanx are so damn tight that if you're wearing like the full things that are supposed to keep you all in, you actually, well, let me just say this. I didn't wear underwear because there's so much so that you don't even get out of Spanx. Basically, once you put them on, you roll them off too. And if anybody saw the video right now, okay. You have to pull the fabric apart as you're sitting on top of the toilet thinking, I can't get this thing off, but dear God, don't pee on this because I got to go wear this for 2 more hours at this fucking black tie affair. So anyway, we're at this place and then we had to drive and I'm sitting there in the car. And again, first time wearing Spanx. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh. And the person next to me, who I'd at least known for a while, I go, well, I'm wearing Spanx for the first time. And it just all fell out. It's just all now outside of the Spanx. She's like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do with that. I'm like, you telling me. I'll tell you what I don't know what to do with right now. So, what am I going to do? Anyway, I never even knew about Spanx. And so I keep thinking, it's like that same thing of we wouldn't need these things if we didn't think we needed these things. I'm like, you know what? What happened to the days where I just have underwear lines? Who gives a shit?
BPL?
Yeah.
Marney. I can airbrush it out, okay? I'll Photoshop it out if you have to go there. If you're going to be so daft.
That's my way of saying, like, when Natalie, you're like, I'm not sure this is where you want to go. I'm like, please take it there. Please take it there. Well, but I will say this. I think there are probably people that look at this and say, maybe this is a good thing. I don't know. I don't know enough about really Kim Kardashian in general. I just know that she's like part owner. But anyway, it's basically doing the same thing with Spanx. Anyway, anything else we want to do before we leave this horse by the side of the road? Anything else?
Yeah, no, good luck to them. Again, I'm sure Nike doesn't go into partnerships like this gently. So I'm sure that they've done their work. They've identified a target market that, doesn't feel the need to smash everything in at this moment, but is rolling into that, right, into that phase of their lives. And they're going to take that Kardashian's name and go to town.
The silver lining I think I'm hoping for, at least at this place, is that whatever she does to pump maybe some money into the WNBA, because that's also part of this partnership, is like they're starting to advertise. If there's anything that can get some sort of, instead of, I don't know, that because then you could go the other way. It's like, oh, they're making money off the WNBA, whereas like if this could help continue elevating it, I don't know. I'm going to try to find the silver lining.
I mean, the marketing's been beautiful and pretty brilliant in my opinion from what I've seen for it, and it does seem they really are focused on athletes. And so for this, that it is everyone in the marketing campaign is a lot of the top women professional athletes that are wearing it. And so if it does end up being that it is, more about the performance and how it enhances that for women and the focus that it can bring to women's sports, I support that conceptually.
Right. I hope those women are making bank.
Right. Are they wearing it because they're getting paid to wear it though? Or is it because it works? And then secondly are they going to do a portmanteau of the name of Skims and Nike, like Psyche or
Sticky?
So far, no. But hey, going back to social media, you never know what the internet will do with this. So
right.
Fingers crossed.
You know what, though? There's part of me that's going to, and this would take us down a whole other thing. I know we need to get to the last part, but I will say this. I hope they are getting paid a shit ton of money to wear it.
Well, and there's a lot going on with the WNBA now, right? I mean, this week's news. And so there are future money opportunities available. So
yes, there are.
Capitalize all the way to the bank.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to the WTF. We'll round it out here. The newest body modification, tooth tattoos. In China, I'd explain this. In China and beyond, dentists are now offering 3D printed crowns with custom engravings, phrases, logos, even little designs that can be etched right into your molars. And some clinics even push them as free upgrades right now, but the dentists are warning, I would think so, are warning about enamel damage and the risks, but it hasn't seemed to stop the trend from spreading on TikTok. I'll get your natural reactions here, but If you could engrave something on your tooth, what would it be?
No regrets. Not even one letter.
Is this taking the place of a grill? But I think a grill you could take out, right? Whereas this is permanent, and I think that's the difference.
So it's a cap or a crown, you said? That's 3D
I think it
printed?
can be whatever you want. It's like, imagine if maybe you had veneers, and now you're going to permanently put all this stuff across influencers. Maybe that's what we're going to start seeing.
You remember years ago when they used to pay people to get tattoos of the brands on themselves, right? Is that the next iteration that I get, teeth with logos on it or something?
I don't know. There's part of me that says, I don't know why I would be surprised. I mean, I would think that maybe if there's a problem with this, you probably go back to like doing any kind of markings on your body in general. I know that I came from, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, how many tattoos? I think I have 5 tattoos. I feel like it's the season of another tattoo. Fall always feels like the time I need to go get something else.
Tattoo.
But I was raised in a family where, especially my late dad was adamant to not have a tattoo. So what was the first thing I did when I went to college? Get a tattoo.
Rebel.
I know, isn't it? No, it was a canardly tattoo. You could hardly see it. And the way I did it was I put it on my foot so that it would be seen in flip-flops, but in the 90s pumps heels, you wouldn't be able to see it in a job interview.
Well, it's better than a tramp stamp, right? Or was that your next one?
I actually think that trend is coming back, and the tramp stamp. And I mean, it is a beautiful spot on your body to have a nice large tattoo if you don't want to do it on your back and shoulders. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think people should put their art in the part of their body that they want to. Marney, I thought this was, you were going to do the ear tattoos, because I've been seeing like the inside of the ear tattoos. Again, we're not being videoed, but you should have seen the look on my face. I was very surprised. I have not heard a peep about, although I'm not on TikTok, so I haven't heard a peep about teeth tattoos. I just kind of think about, we only have so much real estate on our bodies, and humans since the beginning of time have been decorating. We decorate ourselves, whether it's permanent or or not, through makeup or paint or whatever. We put things on our bodies to be beautiful or to make a statement or whatever. And a few years ago, I had this is not a tattoo thing, but a jewelry thing. I had all of my house broken into and all my jewelry stolen, and so I was kind of going through a weird thing with jewelry where I just, wasn't sure if I really wanted to wear jewelry again. I was traumatized by the break-in and everything. And then when I started buying jewelry again, I just started being really particular about, I don't want to wear big necklaces because it gives me a stiff neck, and I don't want to have big stretched out earlobes, so I'm not going to wear big earrings. And so I started thinking more about doing more with smaller pieces. And so I got a few piercings and was really enjoying having kind of that extra, hey, I can wear more jewelry. I just, have to do it in more creative ways. And so that's kind of what I think about with the teeth thing. Maybe it's just a trend and it will go away and people will have to spend a lot of money getting them removed. But maybe it's just a piece of real estate that we hadn't really considered before.
You're like the consummate optimist. I love that.
Thank you. I'm like, I feel so catty after what I think. After I hear you and your unbelievably thoughtfully reasoned response, I'm like, shit, I have nothing to say. It won't make me sound like an ass.
I had to break it down in my mind a little bit before I said anything, so that's why I didn't jump right in.
It was so good. I don't even know what to say.
Exactly.
It was so good. Do you have? Wait, now let me ask this. Do you have a tramp stamp? Your face did something funny when you said it.
No, I don't. But I don't. I feel like, and this is probably me, I'm going to date myself here. I went to junior high school, and college in the 90s. And that's when, everybody was getting those. And maybe in the early 2000s, as well. And I mean, sometimes when I look back at that era, which doesn't seem like it was that long ago, I am so shocked by how misogynistic our culture was in such a recent time when we thought we were going in this more feminist direction. You know, I thought I was a feminist and I thought that I was going to go to college and do all this and change the world and whatever else. And I wanted all things for women and whatever. And I look back on that time and I just can't believe culturally the things that we still accepted at that time that really wasn't that long ago. And so it's one of those things that I always get like a little bit like that, something like that, where that was such a, like an icon of that time or whatever, that it almost like I have a visceral reaction to hearing it. Cause I'm like, why can't we just let women get tattoos where they want to get tattoos? You know, do we have a term like that for men getting tattoos in weird places, or in which again, lower back, that's not even a weird place. It's like it's a perfect spot to put a big, beautiful tattoo if you don't want it to be on your upper back, you know? That was more my reaction, was that I want to get away from, I want to always remind myself to not be thinking about the worst, you know, how to judge and think the worst of women.
First of all, thank you for saying that. You know, there's a double standard. It's like, if you want to put something on your body, put it on your body. But the fact that it's called a tramp stamp.
So my take's a little bit different because I'm apparently a little older than both of you. So women getting tattoos at that time was really unusual. But then again, men didn't all, I mean, unless you were in the military or biker gang, you didn't have tattoos, even as men, right? And guys I went to high school with, it was a big deal that they got our little high school logo tattooed on a hip, and everybody like lost their shit over it. It's laughable today because tattoos are so ubiquitous, but I think that anytime you're changing the culture, the first people to try something do get ridiculed, they do get judged, they do get, until it becomes something that picks up steam and becomes a norm in society. My husband got his first tattoo and I lost my mind, right? I'm like, what are people going to say? You're never getting a job, you know, because it mattered at the time. It mattered. Yeah. And it was like, fine, get a tattoo, but don't you dare get it below where a shirt could cover, right? And isn't that ridiculous today, thinking about that concept? Because, I mean, you were talking about, let's go back to the teeth thing, right? The real estate you were talking about. Now that face tats are ubiquitous, what's left? Right? I mean, right? That's my teeth. It's the only spot that doesn't have something right now. So yeah, will it pick up? You know, does it have the same, grills never picked up, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because they just didn't look that great. Maybe these are beautiful enameled art pieces that people will be more than happy to use as something really beautiful down the line, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, then it comes down to this, which this isn't even trying to go this way, but I'm to the point where the judgment of all of it, I'm just so over it. I don't have time to judge why you do or don't do that. Like when I got my forearm tattoos, it was like, well, what will people think when you go into the boardroom? And I'm like, I don't give a shit what they think. If that's what they're focused on, and yeah, probably right. In the 90s or early 2000s, had I walked in with those, I probably a different reaction, which is just so stupid in and of itself.
It's taking a new generation to come in and say, this is okay. You know, this is normal now. And I think that can translate more broadly to other, not to open a can of worms, but think about like things with like gender fluidity in fashion and style and all of that too. I think the more of that, the better. You know, the more that people can say, this is what makes me feel my best, and this is what I'm going to do. And the more we accept that, I just think it opens up doors in so many other spaces for people to look the way they want to look, that the way that they like themselves and how they feel their best.
I love it. Ladies, thank you so much for having a conversation. Honestly, there's like, I have a piece of paper full of like, these should be future topics that just came out of what we were sharing here. Some of which probably aren't necessarily the funny topics, but they're the topics that I would think really be interesting to dig into. So thank you so much for taking the time today. I had fun.
Thanks for having us, Marney.
Thank you.
Becca Hammer. And I said it. Oh, I said it.
I'm Natalie Black, and I said it.
Love it. Right on the dot. Does anybody have to get going right away?
I do. Actually, I got to go jump on a train. So I got to go.
Jump on a train? Where are you going?
Yeah. I'm going downtown to meet my husband for drinks.
Look at you.
Yeah. Oh, girl, you really think I dressed up for you? No, I'm kidding. Of course I dressed up for you.
I did think you dressed up for... That's bullshit.
Well, Becca, you do look pretty hot. I think he's going to see you get off that train, and you guys are going to have a nice night.
All right. Well, and I'm going to go, re-examine my life choices. So, Natalie, I need to spend more time with you so I can be a better person.
Oh, that's actually true. That's a true statement for everybody. They need to spend more time with Natalie.
Yes.
If this conversation made you think, laugh, or say, I needed that, come see what else we're talking about at SheLivesIntentionally.com.